Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Behm Impact. Today, we're delving into an important topic, and that is about stretching and the potential correlation between stretching, muscle growth, and strength. So far, we've seen compelling results in animal studies involving birds and mammals, demonstrating great improvements in muscle mass and strength through dedicated stretching. But the question is, can we apply these findings to humans? Join me in this discussion as we explore the implications of stretching on muscle development and strength gains. The link between stretching and strength hypertrophy, or muscle growth, is intricate, with scientific findings presenting a nuanced picture. Traditionally, there was a belief that static stretching, that means holding a stretch for an extended period of time, before resistance training, might diminish strength and power. This led to the common recommendation that static stretching be reserved for post-strength training rather than before. Recent research, though, has challenged traditional notions about stretching, indicating that the negative impact on stretching and hypertrophy may not be as significant. In fact, some studies even suggest that potential positive effects, considering the following points. Timing matters. Stretching right before a workout may temporarily reduce strength and power, but these effects might typically be short-lived. On the flip side, long-term or chronic stretching may have different effects, and incorporating it into a solid training program might not impact strength and hypertrophy gains. Number 2, type of stretching. Dynamic stretching involving sports-specific movement is generally recommended for warming up and may have fewer negative effects on strength compared to static stretching. We have individual variability. Responses to stretching can vary among individuals. Factors like genetics, training status, and other individual characteristics may influence how a person responds to stretching concerning strength and hypertrophy gains. Then we have timing and sequencing. Some research suggests that stretching after strength training may be more beneficial than doing so before. And last, we have muscle-specific impact. The impact of stretching may vary based on the specific muscle groups or joints involved. Different muscle groups and joints may respond differently to stretching. If optimizing strength and hypertrophy is a primary goal, it's essential we focus on a well-designed resistance training program and consider incorporating dynamic stretching as part of a warm-up routine. As always, individual responses may vary, so we must be mindful about how the body responds and adjust your approach accordingly. Now, the most relevant question for our topic is, can stretching help increase strength and hypertrophy? There is evidence suggesting that it might. However, the extent and mechanisms of these effects vary based on factors like the type, intensity, duration, frequency of stretching, and as well as individual characteristics of the muscle group and the person. The review by Warnecki et al. In 2022 proposed that long-duration, high-frequency, high-intensity static stretching holds the potential to introduce hypertrophy and strength gains in humans. This is achieved by activating protein kinase within the mTOR pathway, thereby triggering muscle protein synthesis for muscle repair and development. Furthermore, stretching is suggested to enhance the sensitivity and the level of the IGF-1 receptor, insulin-like growth factor, a key player in muscle growth. Additionally, stretching can help enhance flexibility, reduce muscle stiffness, and improve range of motion. When you stretch a muscle, you create tension, or specifically mechanical tension, on the muscle fibers and surrounding tissues. This tension can stimulate blood flow to the stretched area, which may contribute to better oxygenation and nutrient delivery to the muscles. However, not all studies agree on the benefits of stretching for hypertrophy and strength. Some human studies have found that stretching for long periods may decrease strength and increase fatigue, or have no significant effect on muscle size or performance. The effects of stretching may also be dependent on the specific muscle group targeted and individual factors such as age, gender, genetics, training experience, nutrition, hydration, and also sleep quality. While more research is needed to understand how different stretches affect muscles and individuals, stretching does show potential for increasing hypertrophy and strength under specific conditions. It is not a substitute, though, for proven resistance training, but should be seen as a complementary strategy to enhance flexibility and prevent injuries. In contexts like rehabilitation and sports practice, where muscle strength and muscle mass are crucial for joint function, stability, and performance, the conventional approach is indeed resistance training. However, circumstances like reduced physical activity, immobilization, or other constraints require the exploration of alternative training methods. The research explores the potential for promoting muscle hypertrophy and strength gains through high-volume stretching, especially in situations where traditional resistance training may not be feasible. This is particularly relevant for those individuals that are in rehabilitation due to immobilization or injury. The key concept here revolves around utilizing mechanical tension during stretching to activate anabolic signaling pathways to enhance protein synthesis. In the realm of morphological and functional adaptations, mechanical tension plays a pivotal role by engaging with anabolic signaling pathways. So, similar to resistance training, the concept of mechanical tension is a recognized factor. Some researchers hypothesize that high-volume stretching might induce comparable effects. From findings from animal studies suggests that high-volume stretching could serve as an alternative method to resistance training for inducing mechanical tension and promoting muscle growth. However, the transferability of these physiological mechanisms to humans remains speculative at best due to limited research on stretch-induced muscle hypertrophy and strength gains in humans. While some studies endorse potential for transferability of stretch-mediated hypertrophy, others yield mixed results. Animal studies attribute increases in muscle mass to stretching-induced mechanical overload, where mechanical tension appears as a common factor driving muscle growth. In these animal experiments, the significance of stretching-induced mechanical overload is highlighted by the involvement of signaling pathways, biochemical changes, and growth factors such as IGF-1 and mTOR. Significant increases in muscle mass, cross-sectional area, fiber length, and fiber number have been observed in birds. However, the applicability of these findings to humans remains uncertain, with an ongoing debate regarding the impact of modifying stretching parameters such as duration, frequency, and intensity. In studies involving chronic stretching, 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, up to 35 weeks, on one wing of chickens and quails, reported muscle mass increases of up to 169%. A meta-analysis by Warnicki et al. Indicated that increases in animal fiber cross-sectional area of up to 141.6%. Other studies reported progressive muscle growth over time in birds ranging from 53.1% after 7 days to 318.6% after 5 weeks using daily stretching. It's important to note that these percentages are specific to bird studies, and there's a limited number of studies in mammals showing partially contrasting results. However, there is few studies in mammals and in which they show that stretching in rabbit plantar flexors 3 days per week showed muscle mass increases of 13.6%. So here already we see a little difference. However, when stretching was combined with muscle immobilization, there was no significant change in muscle mass. Surprisingly, when stretching was performed without immobilization, it did not lead to substantial changes. An investigation in rodents, in rats, examined the effects of stretching after a period of immobilization. Rats underwent daily stretching for 3 weeks following a 4-week immobilization period, resulting in a significant boost in soleus muscle mass compared to the opposite limb used as a control. It's worth mentioning that studies with lower frequencies and or shorter stretching durations per sessions reported limited, if any, hypertrophy. Now, animal studies suggest that the principle of stretch to induce muscle growth might apply to humans, but only in theory. The concept is based on the notion that when muscles are stretched, it generates mechanical tension that is believed to be a key factor in causing muscle growth. This aligns with our understanding of the role of mechanical tension in muscle development and strength gains observed in resistance training. The results from human studies present mixed findings. Some studies reported muscle growth and strength improvements with brief stretching sessions, while others observed hypertrophy with longer durations, exceeding 30 minutes per muscle per session, while some found no significant changes. Now, general findings in the field of stretching research vary among individuals, and as such, they may not be universally applied to everyone. Concerning muscle strength and training status, these trends indicate that chronic static stretching has been associated with improvements in muscle strength and power. The impact on muscle strength can be influenced by training status, with sedentary participants potentially experiencing larger gains than recreational active individuals. However, there is less clarity on the effects on well-trained participants. On a demographic scale, larger gains in muscle strength are often observed in samples with more female individuals. Older participants may experience higher gains in muscle strength and power through chronic static stretching. Regarding volume and duration, in general, more repetition per stretching exercise and per session are linked to larger gains in muscle strength. Flexibility gains show that passive static stretching tends to be more effective for improved flexibility compared to active stretching training. Meta-regression analysis suggests larger flexibility gains with increased repetitions per sessions, more time under stretching per session, and more total time under stretching. Now, the stretching studies present a series of challenges, including issues with stretching volume, duration, a time-dose relationship, and quantifying the stretch intensity. Additionally, factors like hormonal status, participant training, and specific muscle group targeted contribute to the complexity of the research. The results may be biased, as many studies involved untrained or recreational participants, with the classification of trained individuals, but they're often based on individuals that only practice aerobic activity. Limited studies include well-trained athletes, and there are various variations in sex-related assessments, with some exclusively focusing on females or males, showing significantly higher effects in male participants. It's crucial to note that the effectiveness of stretching and the appropriate type can vary depending on individual fitness levels, the specific activity being performed, and the overall health. While incorporating stretching into a well-rounded fitness routine can contribute to overall flexibility and joint health, it's very important to perform stretches correctly and avoid overstretching, especially if there are existing health conditions or injuries. So as always, as you can see, the research is foggy. Some say that yes, it does contribute to strength and hypertrophy. Others say no. However, there is some confusion because we cannot quantify the intensity. There is fewer studies on humans. While animal models show different things, they show potentially higher results compared to humans. So to this extent, what we want to do, we just want to focus on tuning in our stretching routine, not using it as a way to improve muscle mass and and strength, because we need, in the end, only resistance training can elicit those kinds of stimulus to our body. So stretch is good for you, it's good for your mobility, for your lifestyle. And this concludes our video for today. As always, if you like this content, you would like to support us, subscribe, share, like, or give us a comment below. As always, we will do a workout with a stretching routine that you can use, and in a couple of videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.